I'm going nuts on this dessert. That shape, those nuts, and watch till the end to see how great the inner pattern looks like. So here we go. This time I want to show you what happens if you really activate your yeast before making the whole dough. You don't need to, but you could. So you will need the yeast, a bit of sugar, a bit of milk. Give that a good stir to make the yeast dissolve. Doesn't matter if it's fresh or dry yeast. Then just add a tad of your flour and mix that until you get it all incorporated. Now look how it starts to rise and live. This is a time lapse of close to 8 minutes. Imagine what would happen if you let it rest longer. Then you can just toss in the egg yolks, rest of the milk, rest of the sugar, a pinch of salt, and gradually add the flour and start to first mix and then knead this. Now this is why I have the recipe in the description below. I totally forgot the butter that needs to be in this as well, and I was wondering why the dough was so weirdly dry. Don't make my mistake and add all of them at once. Once you achieve a soft, non-sticky dough, spread a bit of flour over it and cover it with a wet cloth in a warm place for a bit. In the meantime, we can prepare the filling. So we got some leftover egg whites and beat them until they're all stiff. Don't overbeat them though. When they're stiff, just stop mixing. Then add the sugar and nuts of your choice. I'm a sucker for hazelnuts, so that's what I used. Then just fold it all in until you get a sticky, tacky filling. Ta-da! We got ourselves a wonderfully risen dough, which we will roll out now. First, I dust my surface with some flour and go crazy with the rolling pin. Quite a workout, trust me on that, as we want this to be pretty thin without tearing it though. Once you get a longish rectangle, you spread the nutty filling however you want to. The most efficient way for me was to do it with the back of my spoon. I tore a bit of the dough, but as it was in the middle, it wouldn't be too much of a problem. As Bob Ross would say it, a happy little accident. Once that's done, roll this up as tightly as possible. To get every slice to be super nutty, I pinch off the ends of the dough. I could have folded it beneath the braid, but I like my raw yeast dough. I don't think that's very healthy, so don't imitate me. Put your nut sausage on a baking tray and carefully start cutting it through the middle while leaving the dough attached on one end. Once they are separated, fold them together like I'm doing this here. I've seen these as a kringle, like a wreath, but I like to have this as a long version. Like this, you get smaller slices and it makes it easier to put it in the freezer. As a final touch, you can, but you don't have to, spread some egg yolk over it to give it a nice dark color. I like the contrast of the colors a lot. And now finally the moment we have been waiting for, baking it in the oven. Bake this delicious nutty bread at 180 degrees Celsius or 355 Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes or until it gets a nice brown color. But always test it with a toothpick. It should come out clean. And there you have it, an Estonian nut bread to get nuts about. I had planned many puns, but I didn't want to cringe you out of your mind. And here's finally the inside. I love how every slice has a different pattern. Once it has cooled off, you can put this in a freezer for several months, and once out of the freezer, it will taste just as fresh. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If so, please make sure to drop a like and tell us what we should do next in the comments below. Thank you for watching till the end and subscribe if you don't want to miss our weekly videos. Have a delicious weekend and see you next Friday!